Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Logan Boettcher of Saginaw Heritage Hockey. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. We are almost here, buddy. The season is almost ready to kick off. It may be hopefully you don't get to go back there quite yet, because of course you're in the middle of football season.
Right.
Saginaw Heritage. We'll start with that. How's that been going?
It's great, man. Obviously, love to stay active. Coach T does a phenomenal job of, preparing us guys and getting us conditioned for playoffs and games like that. So it'll be fun. Hoping to drag the football season out as long as we can.
Absolutely. Of course, some big game this week. First time getting to play Saginaw United, of course, after the two schools merged into one. First time playing the combined high school. What's that going to be like? Kind of starting a new rivalry in some way.
I mean, rivalry games are they're always the best games to go to, right? Atmosphere is always crazy. All the guys are always juiced for it. So I don't know. We'll see this week, and we'll all be prepared for it. So
Yeah. How long have you played football to be
first year was my eighth grade year, and then I've played ever since. So
Nice.
3 4 years.
Before we and last question before we get into hockey stuff. Just what has it been like, this season? I know you're a senior, and what is it going to be like knowing that you don't have many games left? How are you just trying to enjoy those last few moments on the field?
I mean, obviously, all the guys there at the football or at the field, it's a pleasure to be around them, right? You got to appreciate every moment, soak everything in, and just take it day by day, right? You
Yeah.
can't you can't focus on what's going on next week. You got to focus on the day and what we're doing at practice and prepare for who we're playing that week. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Of course, obviously everybody will find out where everybody's going to be playing, and of course on Sunday at 4:30, you can catch it on FanDuel Sports Detroit. So, um, okay, so trying to balance football and hockey as well. What's that been like? Because I know you have gotten to. How have you kind of handled that? Because I think you did get a chance to play in the summer.
Oh yeah, definitely. Before the season started for football, I kind of talked to Coach Dalen, and he's obviously a super great guy. He's super understanding. So he knows where I'm at with hockey, my dreams and my goals for hockey. We kind of just sat down, had a talk about me missing a couple of football games because I play Maha, which is TPH, throughout the summer.
Yeah.
So I missed two football games this year to go play in hockey. Um, Obviously it helps with such an understanding coach,
Yeah.
and communication with all that stuff is definitely key. Kind of just letting everyone know where I'm going to be at and what their takes on it.
Yeah. So really just also trying to, how was the summer for you? Just what was the biggest thing you kind of took away from playing in the summer and playing in the fall?
Definitely creates a lot of pressure, but honestly, in my opinion, I think that the way to thrive in life is with pressure, right? Um, I think the more pressure that you have is the better that you're going to succeed or the better you're going to perform. Um, Throughout the summer, obviously, it was very busy, very tough at times, but you kind of just gotta pursue and do what you got to do, right?
Yeah. So, I know for you as you're a defenseman for Heritage, and as also the main position you play. What have you always played that?
Um, yes and no. So when I was growing up, obviously I played hockey my whole life. I started out playing defenseman, and then when I got to junior spirit, I played a little bit of forward. I want to say it was just for a year, and then they stuck me back on the back end because they couldn't rely on me to play offense, so to speak. So I kind of incorporate a little bit of offense into my game defensively too, but my big thing is I'm obviously a bigger physical kid, which is why I play football. So that's kind of my big thing and what I bring like to our team, and kind of that's my role, so to speak.
Okay, I don't know if I know asked you this, but it kind of fits with that because the position that you play in football is linebacker, so
Right.
that kind of all fits in some way. Um, eh, really good season by you guys last year. Getting to the state finals, of course, as we know, Heritage is always is all as they like to call those usual suspects. When we get to USA in March.
Right.
Talk about just being a part of a successful program and talk about what JJ's just built over time since you've gotten there.
Ever since I got there, it's been obviously a pleasure growing up with some of the guys. I played with them junior spirit too, so it was nice seeing them, having them around. Obviously, the bonds and the chemistry were there, especially on the ice. So that definitely helps. And JJ does a phenomenal job. Like you couldn't describe how well he does to prepare us for those moments. And that's why our schedule, like some teams will look at our schedule and parents will look at the schedule and they're like, why are we playing all these hard teams? And in JJ's eyes, it prepares us for when we actually need to win games and move on, which is, I think, is just the perfect way to go about it.
Yeah.
And he's done just such an incredible job with all of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the schedule right now. I mean, you talk about guys, teams like Marquette, Brighton, Detroit Country Day, Heartland, you know, of course, obviously Powers and all the conference opponents. It's the you guys have loaded the schedule with a lot of good teams, and it's going to be no different this year. Obviously, I know you lose a lot of guys from the previous year. What is it going to be like trying to find a way to get back and to have a pretty successful season because this is a team that has had a lot of success.
Yeah. Obviously some of the younger guys are gonna have to step up. And us older guys like me, Trevor Selk and Brady Gotham are kind of be we're gonna have to lead some of the younger guys and teach them what they need to know and how it's gonna be because we're very structured in how we do things. And that's what kind of brings us to that USA arena, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be pushing those younger guys for sure, and we're going to get them prepared for the games they need to be prepared for.
When you look at your conference, of course, Midland and Dow and Powers, and everybody in there, there's a lot of good teams in your conference. I know your area is not what most people think of when they think of hockey. They'll think of, the MIHL, the KLAA, Livingston County. But there's some good teams up in Genesee County and all that stuff. Well, just talk about, what the area has kind of gone through the last few years, especially with Powers winning the state title a few years ago.
It's definitely, in my opinion, it's one of the harder leagues. Especially with Powers, they're obviously most of the time they're a powerhouse. They got guys coming back like Aiden Cook. He's obviously a stud on their forward end. Um, and Dow, it's a rivalry game. So that game, they're always juiced for that game. Our guys are always juiced for that game. So it's always head-to-head game there. And same thing with Midland. They're both of those games are always just the best games to play, right? Where the crowd's in it, we're in it, coaches are in it. It's just it's an electric atmosphere, to be honest.
It is. So, can you describe what it's like playing for JJ?
Oh, I would not have another coach if I could pick. I would pick JJ in a heartbeat. He's he's the type of person where he doesn't want to be your friend. He wants to be your coach, but he will also like reach out and see how you're doing and he will be friendly to you. But he's more focused on the coaching end, which is I like that personally. Obviously it's nice to have relationships with coaches, but to an extent. Like there has to be that coaching aspect and that discipline aspect where if something goes wrong, you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, they correct you and they fix it for you. And yeah,
Yeah. So, I know you're a senior. The last time, playing for Heritage and all that fun stuff. Well, but what's it gonna be like to know that this is you got one more shot at this thing? What is that going to be like knowing that how are you kind of approaching kind of this last year? Because I know you would like to continue your hockey career past high school, but what is this season gonna really mean to you?
it's going to mean everything. It's honestly got to be my biggest year that I've ever had. It's definitely coming up to the season now that we're approaching it. It's definitely built a little bit of a fire kind of in my stomach where it's like I have to go out there and perform or I'm not going to get to the next level. I'm not going to play juniors. It's and it's definitely going to impact me as a leader as well. It's going to make me push my other guys knowing that it's my last year. Um, it's just, I don't know. It's going to be really exciting and fun to watch.
All right. Let me ask you this: how do you like mentally get ready for a game? I know, I know when I asked that question because hockey is a totally different sport than football.
Right.
Because I know it's different. I know how football players are from being around it for so long. But how different is getting ready for a football game than getting ready for a hockey game?
I mean, hockey players are a little bit superstitious, right? So I'm pretty much the same with football and hockey. I'm kind of got my headphones in, kind of zoned out, just doing my own thing, warming up, obviously. But pregame, you honestly don't really want to talk to me all that much because I'm in my own world. I'm listening to my music. I'm doing what I need to do to prepare myself for the game. Um, then yeah, I mean, superstitious too with hockey. Like all I'll do left side first and then I'll go to my right. I don't know. It's just one of those things I've done for years and can't switch it up. So
Really? All right. Okay, we need to get to know you a little bit, Logan. How about that?
all right.
Best moment from last season.
It's definitely gotta be the Byron Center game. Obviously we did lose that and they went on to win the state championship, but um that's like one of those moments where it's like the happiest moment of your life but the saddest moment of your life. Obviously you don't get to play with the seniors that are graduating. You won't play with them ever again most likely. um so that's obviously like it's not ideal, but it's definitely good. It's definitely one of my favorite moments just because of the atmosphere, and that was the first Final Four game that I have actually played. So just being in that rink, just it means a lot to me, and just can't take anything for granted.
Absolutely. Who's your favorite player and why?
I would say my favorite player is Kale McCarr, just because obviously he's an offensive defenseman. He plays with his heart. But the person I think I play most like is Drew Doughty, just because he's more of a leader and he's obviously a bigger physical guy. Um, and yeah, I don't know.
Of course, for people that don't know, Cale Makar of the Avalanche. Uh,
Right. Yeah.
so, okay. All right. Since you play two sports, favorite football moment and this could be any year.
Ooh, I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd say probably Midland Dow this year. Um, I want to say it was the first quarter. I sacked the quarterback and stripped the ball from him, and Grayson Byam took the fumble recovery to the house. I think that was pretty awesome too.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite movie?
I don't, just with my schedule so packed with
Okay,
obviously football and hockey.
okay. We'll ask a different question then. Favorite what's your go-to place for food?
Go-to place, it's definitely Chipotle. I get Chipotle 2 or 3 times a week, and it just runs through the paychecks. It's not good, but it's all right.
Full guy, burrito guy?
I'll switch it up. It depends the day.
Okay, okay. Okay, and here's the last one. What is an interesting fact people do not know about you?
Mm. I'd say I'm definitely an introvert. People definitely think I'm an extrovert just because I'm football and hockey player. Typically, those guys are kind of loud and chatty, but like in class, I'm kind of in my own world doing my schoolwork and just sticking to myself.
No, that's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. Well, Logan, thank you so much for the time as always, and best of luck. Best of luck this hockey season, and best of luck the rest of the football season, and best of luck
Yeah.
this week in Saginaw United.
Yeah. I appreciate you having me. Thank you.